Good morning, family. Today is Tuesday, which means it's Teaching Tuesday, and today's topic is, where is your power? So, I'm in the car, because I'm at work, but we're going to Judges chapter 13, verse 5. For behold, you shall conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come upon his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. So if you didn't know, we're talking about Samson, and Samson was called to be a Nazarite, and being a Nazarite means like your life is basically sold out to God even before you're born. Your mama can't have anything unclean, your mama can't drink wine, and then when you come out, you can't have anything unclean, you can't drink wine, and you can't have a razor put to your head once you are born. Okay? Remember, this thing that God called Samson to was already thought out before he was even born. So, Samson, when he got older, he was already fighting the Philistines, right? Because the Philistines were trying to take over. And while he's fighting the Philistines, he wants to have a wife, and he sees this wife that he wants in this land of Timnah, which is where the Philistines were. So, I like names. So I look up what Timnah means, and Timnah means forbidding. And Samson's dad was not going for the foolishness. He's like, man, you didn't see nobody else that you wanted to marry. Why you got to pick the one from the land of forbidden? Why do you have to do that? But in the Bible, it talks about how his parents did not know that Samson's plan to find a wife is of God. Okay? It was a God move. Sometimes God will send you into some places that are forbidden, but it's a part of the plan. So after Samson goes and finds this wife of his, a lion comes up and tries to fight him, and Samson rips the lion apart, and then what's left of the lion, there happens to be a beehive with honey in it. And Samson takes part of this hive with the honey and eats some of it. Then he gives some to his mother and father, but doesn't tell him where he got it from. Now remember, Samson is supposed to be a Nazarite, where he's not supposed to eat anything unclean. The Bible says that the honey was in the carcass of the lion, which I don't know about you, but I feel like the hind parts or whatever is left is probably pretty unclean. Okay, so after Samson eats this unclean honey, they had this feast at his house, and there was 30 men there, and he gave them a bet, like, if you can figure out my riddle, then I will give you these 30 things of linen and 30 changes of clothing. So then 3 days went by, and the men could not figure it out, so they went to Samson's wife, and they're like, hey, Samson's wife, can you get him to tell you the answer to the riddle, and then you come back and tell us so we can win? So that's exactly what she did, and she made it so where she made him feel bad. She kept pressing him like, you don't love me. You don't love me. Why won't you tell me the answer? You don't love me. Now look into yourself and say, this is foreshadowing. This is foreshadowing. How many times does somebody bring the same test to you and you still fail? So Samson is, of course, heated with his wife. He leaves the party and goes up to his dad's house, and he's gone for a while. So the father of the wife is like, well, I guess Samson's gone. And he gives his wife to Samson's friend, like, y'all wildin'. He wildin'. So then Samson ends up coming back, and he's like, where my wife at? And he's like, well, I gave him to your friend because I thought you hated her. Okay, first of all, you overstepping boundaries, kind sir. You overstepping boundaries. But anyway, so Samson gets heated, and he goes to the Philistines' camp, and he lights all their crops on fire. Lights them all on fire, like, gone. And so then, the Philistines heated with Samson. They figured out it was him, and they go and burn his wife up, and his wife dead. Samson does these couple fights with the Philistines. He ends up in this place called Gaza. Then he goes to this place called the Valley of Sorek, where he meets Delilah. Now, Sorek means choice. At this point, this is where God needs Samson to make a choice. And, of course, he makes the wrong choice. And he sleeps with Delilah, who's a harlot, which, for lack of better words, is a hoe. And he has sex with her. And it says that he fell in love. Now, I don't know what she got going on, but she made him fall in love after the first time. Like, whoa. Now, remember I told you about that foreshadowing. So then, Samson and Delilah, they sleeping together, and the Philistines is Delilah's folks. So they said, you need to get Samson to tell you where his strength is. So 3 times, Samson lies to Delilah about where his strength is. Then the 4th time, she's like, look, do you love me? Like, you must not love me. Remember, his wife did the same thing. You must not love me. So he tells her, well, if no razor has ever been put to my head, so if you cut my hair, my strength will be gone. So, of course, she sings him to sleep, and she cuts his hair, and they tie him up, and he can't break free because Samson then forgot where his power is. So the last time that Samson got tied up, he told the Philistines, well, I will shake myself free and go free as I did before. But it says that the Lord had departed from him. See, sometimes we get so wrapped up in ourselves and doing what we want to do that we forget that God is where your power is. So then when they tie you up or when the enemy tests you, you asking yourself, well, God, where is my power? See, you've lost all power because you stopped focusing on God and you started focusing on yourself. Samson was called to be a Nazarite, but instead of doing the things that God told him to do, which was not to eat unclean things, not to sleep with harlots, not to tell the harlots or the enemy where your power lies, you did what you wanted to do. You failed the test again and then can't figure out why you're losing. Samson had got disconnected and didn't even realize that his power had been turned off. But then when he finally realized, oh man, I done messed up, God gave him that power one more time to destroy the Philistines. See, the mission was going to be completed, but the part that you play in it is up to you. So today we're going to ask ourselves, where is our power? Am I still connected to the source? Heart check, y'all. Heart check. Where is your power?